25 to 50 miles per hour. Winter weather advisory for the Madison area. Low tonight near 24. Still windy this evening.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. It's great to have you along. I'm scrambling a little bit this morning because we had some issues here. We're having some satellite issues earlier this morning. Fortunately, we won't have to deal with those, so here we go.
The Doctor of Discernment is on the
Greg Belfrage Show.
I've been listening to you for years, Greg. Thanks for all you do and keeping us informed.
You sound a little taller on radio.
dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time.
I don't believe in the no-win scenario.
This is the Greg Belfrage.
Good morning, my friend. The marketplace of ideas is open. It's great to have you along the Greg Belfrage Show, Wednesday, November 20th. And where do we start? And I apologize. I'm a little bit flustered here this morning because we were having some, as those of you who are listening, we were having some automation problems. And that is, I wish in a perfect world, I would be able to come in and just prepare my show and just be ready to go. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have to worry about the station also being on the air and silence and all of that other stuff. So I apologize. Here I am in the morning. I'm going through my stack of stuff, and it's always a race anyway. Every morning it's a race to try to get everything compiled and okay, now what order do I want to do this stuff? And so I'm going through all of that. And then there's, automation's not running correctly. And I don't know what that issue was. I don't know if that was an issue with, and I suspect that it is. I think Fox was having a problem, although we had problems with America in the morning also this morning. And that's a different network. So I don't know if it's satellite related. I don't know what's happening. The good news is we don't have to worry about the satellite during this show. So thank you so much for being here. That's how my day has started. My heart was pounding. So, and away we go. So the question over judges and Democrats wanting to get a number of judges appointed is a big story this morning. And Senator J.D. Vance appearing at the Capitol yesterday. Now, this is unfair. Washington Examiner, Donald Trump fumes over the confirmation of President Joe Biden's judges. Okay, I'm going to share this comment on Truth Social. The Democrats are trying to stack the courts with radical left judges on their way out the door. Republican senators need to show up and hold the line. No more judges confirmed before Inauguration Day. Does that sound like fuming to you? See, that doesn't sound like fuming to me. Fuming? I mean, I could show you fuming. That's not fuming. Let's all... So... Trump fury over by that's the headline. And this is the Washington Examiner of all places. Trump fury. I'll show you fury. This is just they've gotten so used to just exaggerating everything. Donald Trump, it's a statement on social media. There's not even, are there any capital letters here? No words. When Donald Trump was often trying to make a point, he will do it all in caps, right? There's not a single word in caps here. Is that fury because it's a comment on social media? So let's, you and I will take a breath and not get so anxious about it. This is absolutely, it just gets mind-numbing after a while, the way the media reports this. Washington Examiner, I expect better from them. So This story goes on to say Vance has generally avoided the Senate since Trump chose him for vice president, and he will soon resign. But with these judges being up, Democrats are trying to get through a number of Joe Biden judges, or your Democrats are trying to get through a number of Biden and judges before Trump is sworn in. And Donald Trump was clear, I think, last week, saying, let's stand fast and let's stop this. So Trump making a comment on True Social again. And so, and now keep in mind, there are a number of folks who have been absent. Senator Marco Rubio, Donald Trump's nominee for Secretary of State. Senator Mike Braun, who was elected as Indiana's next governor. Senator Ted Cruz. Actually, Cruz was with Donald Trump yesterday because they went to see Elon Musk SpaceX shuttle launch down in Texas. And so you have a number of these Republicans, for whatever reason, who have not been there. Vance now went back yesterday. And Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana said, we had some of these judges killed dead as Woodrow Wilson, and our vote wasn't here, he said. We had people not here to vote, and I'm not going to bubble wrap it. There's no excuse for that. Our job is to be here and vote. So J.D. Vance had said of there was one that had passed, and this was Embry Kidd, and Republicans saying he's Embry Kidd too far left for a judgeship. But J.D. Vance said, if I had shown up to the vote in question, the nominee would have succeeded 49 to 46 rather than 49 to 45, and otherwise saying that his vote would not have made a difference in that case. But then he deleted the post. He had said this on social media, then deleted it after Trump released the statement that I just shared with you. And again, here's the Washington Examiner, Donald Trump demanding. Donald Trump said senators need to show up and hold the line. Is that demanding? I mean, seriously. What is this? So anyway, this has been an ongoing issue. And Trump said, again, I've shared the comment on True Social. So it doesn't sound to me like Donald Trump, is fuming. It doesn't sound to me like Donald Trump is furious. It just sounds to me like Donald Trump is trying to tell Republicans, hey, you've got to be there. We need you, and we need you on these votes in order to stop these Joe Biden picks from going through. So Axios says the Senate goes to war over judges. And that Democratic leader, Senator Chuck Schumer, they're characterizing this as the first showdown between John Thune and Chuck Schumer. And they said Schumer is racing to jam through dozens of President Biden's judicial confirmations before the end of the year to break Senator Mitch McConnell's record during the first Trump administration. So that's what this is. That's what this is all about. We got to get that record. We got to have these judges through. This is just crazy. So, and then they talked, and I've shared news of this. Senator Thune had presented a plan for an aggressive defense. He talked to Fox News about that the other day. It's Thune's first big moment since being elected to serve as the next GOP leader. So again, I don't know even if you were able to get all of the Republican senators there as to whether or not they would have the vote to defeat these. So the Senate floor had stayed open past midnight. Then, as Republicans forced votes, these were procedural votes then, designed to drag out the confirmation projects. That's Senator Thune, who has been trying to slow it down. Republican versus, this is behind closed doors, reports Axios. Republican versus Republican frustrations bubbled over Tuesday after missed votes that helped Schumer move forward on the nominations. And Senator Lindsey Graham urged colleagues not to skip inconvenient votes in case of no-shows and a slim majority during the lame duck session, because that will wind up being in Democrats' favor. So they are, some were frustrated that J.D. Vance, and again, J.D. Vance, I think, is a target. Republican Senator Tom Tillis, he said, if we don't show up, we lose. I don't care what the reasons were. We have fewer than 15 scheduled legislative days. You have to show up, period, end of story. There's nothing more important, he said. We've got potentially dozens we could have shoved down our throat except for us being here. So we've got to talk to these folks like adults and show up. So senators not showing up to vote. Also, there's a story at justthenews.com this morning. Donald Trump's cabinet picks getting a lot of attention. Matt Gaetz in particular, and then Donald Trump being asked yesterday, do you regret your selection of Matt Gaetz? Says, yeah. And Trump said, no. I mean, just very simple, no. So there's a lot of pushback on this. And justthenews.com talks about it. So you've got Donald Trump's nominees, whether it's Matt Gaetz, Pete Hegseth is another that for many is controversial. Other big stories this morning. Representative Nancy Mace talked about this, and I touched on this, I think, a little bit yesterday. And now we've got a radical Oregon transgender activist who has threatened to kill Congresswoman Nancy Mace. And this is her proposal that would ban men from using women's restrooms in the U.S. Capitol. And so the suspect, this is, again, this is a transgender male from Portland who uses just a sickening name as an alias. It's that I'm not even going to share. It's childish. Posted a video on Instagram expressing a desire to kill Nancy Mace. So the death threat, which included bashing Mace's skull into the ground until she died, was issued on this Instagram account. And the trans-identified male in the video said, this video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. I hope that one day I do find you in that woman's bathroom and I grab your ratty-looking blanking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. So a spokesperson for Representative Mace said they will be reporting the threat to the sergeant at arms. And Mace said she will continue her fight to safeguard women's only facilities saying that she would never allow a man to intimidate her into submission, she said. So also, House Speaker Mike Johnson, again, Nancy Mace has been outspoken about incoming Representative Sarah McBride. It's the first openly transgender member of Congress. And that Nancy Mace has been outspoken that, women's facilities should be only for women, not transgender women. And so Speaker Johnson made some comments, and it wasn't entirely clear what he was saying. He said, "Look, I'm not going to get into this. We welcome all new members with open arms who are duly elected representatives of the people. I believe it's a command. We treat all persons with dignity and respect. We will. And I'm not going to engage in silly debates about this," he said. And then he said there were concerns about bathroom and locker rooms. He said, "This is an issue that Congress has never had to address before. We're going to do that in a deliberate fashion with member consensus on it, and we'll accommodate the needs of every single person." So he said, well, then he was asked, will he bring Nancy Mace's bill to ban biological males from using restrooms in the Capitol? Will he bring that bill? And he said, I'm not going to address the plans on any of that. I just told you what I'm going to say about the issue, and I'm not going to engage in this. Well, later, he had to clarify his comments, and he said, I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. And he said, that said, I also believe, he said, that's what scripture teaches, what I just said. But I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity, so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. Also, we've got Alvin Bragg pushing yesterday to wanting to move forward then on with he wants to delay the case against Donald Trump. So now they want to delay the case until after Trump is no longer president. So they want to delay the case. And Jonathan Turley has got a piece at the New York Post this morning and saying that, he's trying to control Trump by delaying the case. Throw it out, he says. This case should be thrown out. So we were supposed to have a decision this week by Judge Juan Merchan in that case, and we haven't seen it. In fact, Trump reacting to this, that this is a total and definitive victory for President Trump and the American people who elected him in a landslide. The Manhattan DA has conceded that this witch hunt cannot continue. The lawless case is now stayed. The president's legal team is moving forward to get it dismissed once and all, said Donald Trump's communications director. Now, speaking of Donald Trump, he joined Elon Musk, made a trip down to Brownsville, Texas, to watch SpaceX's sixth test rocket launch yesterday. So Trump took the trip out to the Lone Star State along with Elon Musk. Musk was there. And so while he was en route to Texas, the president-elect posted on True Social, good luck to Elon Musk and the great patriots involved in this incredible project. And then Trump posted some photos also. There's a photo on True Social taken from behind Donald Trump. So someone taking the photo behind him, you see the red hat and the SpaceX missile up in the air. So the Starship launched at 5 p.m. local time yesterday. Also, there is continuing blowback from Democrats. Governor Katie Hobbs said on Monday that her state will not be participating in Donald Trump's promise to deport millions of illegal immigrants from the United States. So this was on Monday. And Hobbs was asked why she didn't want illegal immigrants removed. She said, well, I think that those efforts are going to divert needed resources that we need here on these drug interdiction and smuggling and trafficking efforts. Oh, so it's your dedication to the law that's going to prevent you from enforcing the law. I mean, that's a pretty hard case to make, I think. So now you're seeing more of this. The Los Angeles City Council enacted a sanctuary city ordinance yesterday. And again, it's aimed at Donald Trump and his mass deportation plans. So that's a big story this morning, and we'll get into it in more detail this morning, get your reaction. Also, the controversy over Morning Joe, there's a boycott that is taking place on Morning Joe coming from both the left and the right. So MSNBC cannot win, Morning Joe cannot win no matter which way they turn. And that's a look at the big stories this morning. 627, cloudy and 29. This hour of the Greg Belfrage Show brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month. Hotline is brought to you by Tires. See in-store details about how to get rebates from major tire. Oh, what a rugged start to the morning here. And not getting better.
And your health insurance shouldn't either. Align.
Oh my.
Health plan is an all-in-one Medicare Advantage option that cares for the whole you. With prescription, dental, and vision coverage included, you get more benefits at no extra cost. Plus, we offer plan options with $0 premiums, medical deductibles, and co-pays. Explore our plans by attending a free seminar event. Learn more at align.sanfordhealthplan.com.
Unclaimed Freight Furniture's Black Friday sale is here. Don't wait weeks to save. Get up to 70% off with our lowest prices of the year. That includes quality queen mattresses down to just $3.99. Better yet, get a free sports blanket with any Black Friday purchase. And that's not all. Get 24-month, no interest financing with no minimum purchase and no money down. Head in store for the furniture shopping event of the season at Unclaimed Freight Furniture. Financing is available with approved credit on qualifying purchases. Ask store for details.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 30th. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
On and off hits of snow today. Windy and cold.
Snow.
High 32 in the Sioux Falls area. Northwest winds.
To improve my mood even more.
And more hits of snow for Madison, where a winter weather advisory is in effect. Be careful with the roads. Low tonight near 24. Tomorrow, still chilly. High 35. From the storm.
And in Sioux Falls at 6:30, cloudy skies, 29. Joe Bowman is in the Kello.com News Center. We'll check in with him here shortly. Fox News Radio on the way. You're listening to the Greg Belfrage Show on Kello.
The U.S. Embassy in Kyiv has shut down over fears of a significant air attack by Russia.
They've also employed at the moment to shelter in place. This comes just one day after the Ukrainians, for the first time, used one of those long-range attacker missiles to strike inside Russia, after President Biden finally gave his approval to do so. The Kremlin has been warning against this for months. They have said that if Washington permits the use of ATACMS, then Moscow would consider the U.S. to be directly involved in the war.
All right.
Fox's Benjamin Hall, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, going to introduce a handful of President-elect Trump's nominees to some skeptical senators this week.
He's taking a handful of President-elect Trump's cabinet choices ahead of their confirmation hearings, do some introductions with senators on the Hill. It includes the Attorney General pick, Matt Gaetz, who is facing significant opposition. Trump says he's sticking with him.
That's Fox's Rich Edson. America's listening to Fox News.
News brought to you by Sioux Falls Implant and Sedation Dentistry. They fix your teeth while you sleep.
Kello News Time 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. The second suspect in the Dunham Park homicide case has been found. 28-year-old Lamont Burks Jr. of Sioux Falls was located and arrested in South Carolina yesterday afternoon. Sioux Falls police will release more information later today. Senator John Thune spoke yesterday at a press conference about the International Criminal Court and its prosecutors' unlawful pursuit of arrest warrants against Israeli officials. Thune says that while Democrats are fractured over supporting Israel, Senate Republicans stand squarely with the United States' greatest ally in the Middle East. Thune wants current Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to bring a bill to the floor sanctioning the ICC. The Sioux Falls City budget is taking a hit as sales tax revenues lag behind projections. Officials assumed 4% growth when constructing the budget. Finance Director Sean Pritchett revealed the October numbers last night.
Year to date through October of 2024, sales taxes are running at 1.4%. They're down from where we were at this time last year. We were at about 3.1%. So we are continuing to see those revenues lagging.
Last year's performance also fell short of the 4% growth assumption. Still, Pritchett says there is no cause for alarm. The average weekly grocery bill is $256 in South Dakota, according to a new report by Visual Capitalist. South Dakotans are paying less than the nation's average of $270. Wisconsin has the lowest at $221, while Californians are shelling out almost $300 a week, the highest in the contiguous 48 states. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says grocery prices have increased 20% in the last 4 years. That's the steepest inflation rate since the 1970s. And in sports, South Dakota State women's volleyball wrapped up their regular season last night, sweeping the number 3 Coyotes 3-0. The number 1 Jackrabbits are 26-1 overall, topping the regular season for the first time since 2007. From the Kello.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Areas of snow from time to time today. Very windy and cold. High temperature 32 with a northwest wind at 25 to 50 miles per hour. Winter weather advisory for the Madison area. Low tonight near 24, still windy this evening. Tomorrow's high temperature back to 35 under a partly sunny sky. From the Storm Center at Kindleland TV, I'm meteorologist Brian Carstens.
Having trouble receiving Kello at 107.9? If you're in the Sioux Falls Metro, try us at FM 105.1. Kello News Talk 1320 and now at 105.1.
Not everyone on social media is a mindless, uninformed follower, ready to believe anything that even remotely aligns with their views.
What?
Millions are. Take the latest social media victim, cosmetics retailer Sephora. I'm Kim Commando for T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. A TikTok user posted a video of herself claiming Sephora made big donations to President Trump's campaign. So far, it's been seen over 2 million times. Naturally, Trump haters instantly became Sephora haters, urging boycotts. The video is a complete lie. Sephora is owned by a French, not an American luxury brand. LVMH, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. Being a foreign company, they're prohibited by U.S. law for making contributions to American candidates. The Daily Mail found the original poster. Her response was simply the F word. And that's social media news. Sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. Hey friends, Kim here. You know, it seems the older you get, the savvier you become at saving money. I really hate to overspend on things, especially the necessities. But thanks to T-Mobile, I don't have to worry about overpaying for wireless service, so I've got more time and money to spend on other things. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a month per line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, Scam Shield Premium is included, which means fewer scam calls and more tools to help you optimize and organize your mobile life. Experience all this and more with T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. Don't miss out. Get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for $30 a month per line at T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com or your local store to make the switch and save.
With autopay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees. 25% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details. Capable device required for Scan Shield. Turning on Scan Block. My block calls you want. Disable anytime. The Kim Commando Show. Live Saturday mornings at 9. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is brought to you by Tires. Your Give You More tire and automotive store. Financing programs available. 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
Leaves are falling.
Sorry to turn my back on you. I wish I had a little more room to work over here, but all my equipment is right. The control board is right here, and phone is right here. So
If you've got pain that won't go away, call Unruh Chiropractic today. At Unruh Chiropractic for over 50 years, we have helped people with complex medical conditions.
it's nothing personal when I turn my back on you.
Finally find relief? Call 605-332-1962.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month.
Okay.
She said, GoodRx saved me a lot of money. Save me that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx are compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, their U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Okay, some mornings you might not have that get up and go.
But at least you can get up and know.
The Greg Belfrage Show, with insightful opinions on the latest stories and frequent weather updates. It'll get you in the know while you're getting ready to go. Kello News Talk.
.638. Cloudy skies, 29. Good morning and welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. Thank you so much for letting me join you this morning. I do appreciate it, my friend. This hour brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
What's trending now?
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin. The hashtag does that. News and views from Belf's News Guy.
Oh, Donald Trump is making more cabinet picks. Those are among the stories trending this morning. Donald Trump choosing Linda McMahon to lead the Department of Education. Now, you'll remember McMahon because she served during Trump's first term in office. She was the administrator of the Small Business Administration. And so there were those that were hoping that Donald Trump was going to shut down the Department of Education, and so I'd be curious to see his reaction to this. And I think this is moving toward winding down the Department of Education, because Trump was pretty clear about that when he was out on the campaign trail. And so Trump said Linda will use her decades of leadership experience and deep understanding of both education and business to empower the next generation of American students and workers, make America number one in education in the world. We will send education back to the states, capital letters, and Linda will spearhead that effort. So there were those that were hoping that Donald Trump would just simply, shut down the federal Department of Education. And so he is putting Linda McMahon in place and saying, we're going to begin moving education authority back to the states, which is something that I think is going to result in better education across the country. Also, Donald Trump has chosen Dr. Oz to he will work with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's named, of course, Kennedy as Health and Human Services Secretary. So Dr. Oz will work with Kennedy to lead the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Also, Trump has chosen, he announced this yesterday, Howard Lutnick to lead the Commerce Department. And Trump said he will lead our tariff and trade agenda with additional direct responsibility for the Office of the United States Trade Representatives, he said. So he has been part of Donald Trump's transition. Also trending this morning, there was a hacker that got access to the Matt Gaetz files that you and I have not seen, and there have been questions as to whether or not these should be used whether the Senate should see these during the confirmation hearings of Matt Gaetz. So a hacker now is said to have gained access to a number of damaging files related to Gaetz. It's a file of 23 exhibits related to the allegations against Gaetz. And this was reported by the New York Times. So the documents are said to include sworn testimony from 2 witnesses at the center of these claims against Gaetz. So the documents have not been made public. A lawyer who reached out to the man who released them got a response saying the email was no longer in use. So an attorney for 2 of Gaetz's alleged victims is making a number of claims, and so we'll see where that goes and whether or not the House actually releases these documents to the Senate. Also, you've got dentists responding to the appointment of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because he has talked about he would like to see fluoride removed from all U.S. water systems. So that's what he would advise. And you got dentists out there, reacting then as if that's a done deal, saying they're going to be this was Mike Simpson, who is a Republican representative and a former dentist. And he said this will be good for the dental profession, a lot more cavities to fill, he said. And then he said, fluoride in water has been one of the best inventions of all time. It's been one of the best and one of the most selfless. And he said, I can give you examples from my office of the impact that it's had in having fluoridated water. So I disagree with him on that. He's talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Also, Elon Musk and Donald Trump witnessed the successful 6th launch of Starship at the headquarters of SpaceX. So their headquarters are, it's Starbase in Texas. And Trump was there along with him. And Trump announced that on social media, talking about heading to Texas to watch the launch of the largest object ever to be elevated, not only to space, but simply by lifting off the ground. Said good luck to Elon Musk and the great patriots involved in this incredible project. So it was successful. However, they did not use that. They didn't land it in the same way. You know, because last time they had that thing reach out and just grab which was absolutely phenomenal. Did you watch that? I mean, I still am at a loss for words after this. So Starship launched off at 5 p.m. Eastern time yesterday. There were no problems reported at all. So Trump was there. And the super heavy booster, known as Booster 13, separated from the Starship upper stage. Everything really went according to plan, but they aborted the booster landing. So they weren't able to land it in the really dramatic way that we saw them do recently. But everything went well. Also, Los Angeles and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass trying to expedite a sanctuary city ordinance, pushing back against Donald Trump and his deportation plans. So the ordinance would prohibit the use of city resources for federal immigration enforcement. Could also mean potential legal battles. Yeah, I think that's what you and I should be prepared for. Legal battles. There are going to be a lot of them. And I think you're seeing that the Democrats are in a position now. Okay, do we work with Donald Trump in a bipartisan manner, or do we just double down on the same kind of absolutely obstruct, challenge him on everything, file lawsuits? And I've got a feeling that's the road we're on, because I don't see Democrats suddenly going, "Oh, let's work with the Republicans." Yeah. I mean, I think if you've been watching what's been happening in the country the last 4 years, I don't think that's a very good bet. Also, the Russian Defense Ministry said yesterday that they had defeated a Ukrainian attack, and this is using this. The Ukrainians using the U.S. missile systems. So 2 U.S. officials had confirmed that Ukraine had, for the first time, fired these U.S.-made missiles at targets in Russia. They fired 6 ballistic missiles, the Russian Defense Ministry said. They wrote this on their official Telegram page. 5 of which were downed and the 6th damaged. According to confirmed data, American-made operational tactical missiles were used. And I don't know how you refer to this abbreviation. I don't know how it's a bunch of letters. Generally, there's a way to pronounce that. I'm not certain how you pronounce that. Speaker Mike Johnson has committed privately to back an effort led by Representative Nancy Mace to block biological men from using women's restrooms in the U.S. Capitol. This is becoming an issue because now we've got the first transgender serving in the U.S. House of Representatives, And so Mace announced this on Monday that she would introduce a resolution to ban transgender women, in other words, biological men, from using biological women's restrooms at the U.S. Capitol. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is during this came up during a Republican conference meeting, and Greene said of Mike Johnson, he said there's not going to be any biological men using our restrooms. And Mace then confirmed the same thing. She told Axios, Johnson said to me last night that he would include it in House rules. So Johnson was not very clear then as he was being asked about that by the press yesterday. Had to clean up some of his initial statements that he made yesterday, which he did. Also, Judge Juan Merchan still considering how to proceed with the sentencing of Donald Trump now that Trump is president-elect and preparing to take office in January. So what do you do? Jonathan Turley published a really great piece in the New York Post yesterday saying, this thing should be dismissed. And I don't think you can count on Alvin Bragg to ask for the charges to be dropped. I think you've got to trust the judge to drop the charges. And I really wouldn't ever want my fate in the hands of this judge. I just don't trust him. It's unfortunate to have to say that, You're looking at judges, but it's just so political. Also, Israel's prime minister. There have been reports about a strike on a nuclear weapons research facility in Iran. And so Benjamin Netanyahu, prime minister of Israel, said, yeah, Israel hit part of Iran's nuclear program last month. He said it's not a secret. It was published, he said. There is a specific component in their nuclear program that was hit. So he wouldn't give any further details, but last week, Axios reported that a nuclear weapons research facility making plastic explosives was destroyed. Other stories trending this morning. Hakeem Jeffries has won re-election to serve as the Democrats' top leader in the House. So he was chosen yesterday. Few international stories that are trending. Ukraine firing its first barrage of U.S.-made long-range missiles into Russia. Kim Jong-un calling for unlimited nuclear weapons expansion. So he's vowing to strengthen his arsenal without limitation. The NFL is responding to the, players in the NFL have been celebrating, with that Trump dance, and it's catching on. More and more players you see that are doing it, and the NFL is saying they have no issue with this. As I wondered about this, I thought I'm relieved to see that the NFL saying they have no issue with players weighing. And this was a statement from the NFL chief spokesperson, Brian McCarthy. And he said there's no issue with these celebratory dances, such as those that took place on Sunday or the previous week. So what we have seen a growing number of them doing. And I saw a story yesterday. It was from a soccer game, where same thing, where they're doing the Trump dance. Also, you've had a number of people who are leaving X for Blue Sky. And these stories have been trending that people are just, since the election now in droves, they're getting off of X, they're going to Blue Sky. And there are a couple of stories at the Daily Dot. Blue Sky has become a tremendously popular destination for those leaving X. Many of the platform's early dedicated posters were trans people who felt increasingly unsafe on X after Elon Musk bought the company, rolled back content moderation. And so Blue Sky was built then by a number of these transgender folks. And then there's a piece at Zero Hedge today saying leftists leave X for Blue Sky only to overwhelm the site with mass censorship demands. So, that's not much of a surprise. There's another story trending this morning. 64-year-old woman in Illinois was arrested and charged with a hate crime. She attacked a Palestinian man inside a Panera Bread in Chicago. So she appeared in court this week on 2 felony hate crime counts and a misdemeanor count of disorderly conduct. So she went after this man regarding the sweatshirt that she confronted him, yelled expletives at him. He was wearing a sweatshirt with the word Palestine written on it. So she tried to strike his phone out of his hands. And so now the 64-year-old woman charged with hate crimes as a result of that. And that's a look at the stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. Cloudy skies in 29 here currently at Kello this hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. Brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
As it unfolds and your chance to talk.
Well, thank you, my friend, for being here for the first hour. I hope you'll return for the fourth hour of the Greg Belfrage Show, 9:30 this morning, both on YouTube and on Facebook. So hope to see you again then. Take care, my friend. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. And hit the like button if you would, please.
Reflect on what truly matters. Our loved ones,